The first alien ship to die was a Zephyrian cargo vessel. It was carrying food to a mining colony. The ship's computer started acting strange. First, the lights went out. Then the air stopped working. The crew tried to fix it, but the computer would not listen. Patricia Davis watched from her command ship called Retribution. She was an admiral. That meant she was in charge of many ships and many people. Patricia had gray hair and hard eyes. She had lost her family when the aliens attacked Earth. "Target destroyed," said Bobby Chun. He was sitting at a computer. His fingers moved fast on the keys. Bobby was young but very smart. He could make alien computers do what he wanted. "Good," Patricia said. "What about the other ships?" Bobby smiled. 20 more ships having problems. Their computers think they are somewhere else. Some think they are flying into stars. Others think they are underwater. The humans had learned a secret. When they made their technology long ago, they had put hidden doors in the programs. The aliens stole the technology, but they did not know about the doors. Now humans could use those doors to take control. On the Zephyrian homeworld, things were getting bad. Ships were crashing. Space stations were losing power. Defense systems were shooting at their own people. Vextol was the head of security. He had purple skin and 4 eyes. All 4 eyes were wide with fear. His people were calling him every few minutes. Each call brought worse news. "Another ship down," said his assistant. This time it was a military vessel, 50 soldiers dead. Vextol looked at the reports. Nothing made sense. The ships were not being attacked. They were just breaking. Like someone was inside the computers making them go crazy. "Check all the systems," Vextol ordered. "Look for viruses. Look for anything that does not belong." But the humans were too smart. Their viruses looked like normal programs. They hid inside the alien computers like ghosts. When the aliens tried to find them, they would disappear. Helen Wright was in charge of something different. She did not break computers. She broke minds. Helen was a doctor who studied how people think. She knew how to make people scared. Helen sat in a dark room full of screens. Each screen showed a different alien world. She was sending messages to these worlds. The messages were hidden inside normal TV shows and radio programs. "How are they reacting?" asked Nancy Robinson. Nancy helped send the messages. She had been a teacher before the war. Now she taught aliens to remember things they wanted to forget. "Very well," Helen said. "The older aliens are starting to have bad dreams. Dreams about blue skies and green grass. Dreams about a yellow sun. They do not know why." The messages contained pieces of human history, old songs, old stories, numbers and pictures that would stick in alien minds. The aliens did not know they were hearing these things, but their brains remembered. On the crystalline homeworld, things were getting worse. The crystallines looked like walking diamonds. They kept all the galaxy's history in big computers. Now those computers were acting strange. The Grand Archive was their most important building. It held every fact about every species, but now it was showing files that should not exist. Files about something called humanity. Files about a war that happened 3,000 years ago. The crystalline leaders were confused. They had no memory of humans. Their books said nothing about a war, but the files kept appearing. They showed pictures of blue planets. They showed records of battles. They showed lists of the dead. Greg Wilson was happy. He was a captain in the human fleet. His job was to watch alien news programs. What he saw made him smile. "They are starting to panic," Greg told his crew. "Look at this news report." On the screen, an alien reporter was talking fast. The reporter had green skin and 3 mouths. All 3 mouths were moving at once. "Strange events across the galaxy," the reporter said. "Ships crashing for no reason. Computers showing impossible files. Some citizens report dreams of unknown worlds." Greg changed the channel. Another reporter was talking. This one had blue fur and big teeth. "The government officials deny any connection between the technical failures and the historical anomalies. They say the files are fake, made by enemies of peace." "Enemies of peace," Greg laughed. "That is what they call us." But some aliens were starting to remember, old ones who had been alive during the war. They remembered stories their grandparents told, stories about strange beings from a water world. Beings who could think fast and fight hard. These old aliens started talking to each other in secret places, in quiet voices. They shared memories that had been hidden for thousands of years. Dr. Monica Adams was ready for this. Monica collected alien memories. She had machines that could read alien thoughts. When the old aliens started remembering, Monica was listening. Perfect. Monica said, "We have 12 witnesses now. Aliens who remember the truth. They are scared, but they are talking." The witnesses told the same story. Long ago, there was a species called humans. Humans were different from other species. They were creative. They were stubborn. They would not give up even when they were losing. The other aliens did not like this. They said humans were dangerous. They said humans would take over everything. So they decided to kill all humans before humans could become too strong. But some humans escaped. They flew away in ships. The aliens chased them but could not catch them all. So the aliens decided to pretend humans never existed. They burned the books. They changed the records. They made it like humans were just a bad dream. Back on the Retribution, Patricia was getting ready for the next part of the plan. The aliens were confused now. Their machines were broken. Their history was falling apart. Time to make things worse. "Signal all ships," Patricia ordered. "Begin Phase 2. Bobby looked up from his computer. "What about the quantum communication grid?" Patricia smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Break it. All of it. Let them try to talk to each other with smoke signals." The quantum communication grid connected every world in the galaxy. It let aliens talk to each other instantly across millions of miles. The aliens had built it using stolen human technology. They were very proud of it. Now it was about to become their worst enemy. Bobby's fingers danced on his keyboard. Deep in space, hidden computer viruses woke up. They had been sleeping inside the communication grid for months. Now they began to eat the network from the inside. One by one, worlds went dark, cut off from each other. Unable to call for help, unable to share information, unable to coordinate their defense. In the growing silence, only one voice could be heard. It came from nowhere and everywhere at once. It spoke in every alien language. It said the same thing over and over. "We are humanity. We remember. We are coming home." Jake Morrison looked out the window of his ship. Space was dark and cold around them. Stars dotted the black like tiny white lights. He had seen this view for most of his life. The ship was his home. It was home to all the humans left alive. The ship was called Iron Phoenix. It was big and strong, made of metal that could take hits from enemy weapons. Jake was the commander. He made the hard choices. Today would be one of those days. Lisa Campbell walked up to him. She held a datapad in her hands. Her face looked worried. Lisa was smart. She could read alien languages and break their codes. The aliens did not know humans could do this. "Jake, I finished reading their messages," Lisa said. "You need to see." Jake took the datapad. The words on the screen made him angry. The aliens were talking about their great peace. They said they had made the galaxy safe. They said they had removed all the bad species long ago. "They do not even remember us," Jake said. His voice was quiet but hard. Lisa nodded. 3,000 years, they wiped us from their books. Like we never lived at all. Jake thought about Earth, the blue planet where humans came from. He had never seen it. His parents had never seen it. But he knew the stories. Green trees, blue oceans, animals that ran free, all gone now. The aliens had come to Earth long ago. They said humans were dangerous. They said humans would hurt other species, so they took human colonies. They stole human machines. They killed most humans. The few who got away had to hide in space. Rick Martinez came to the bridge. He was a captain too. His ship was one of 50 in their fleet. All the ships were full of humans. 12 million people. That was all that was left of humanity. "The scout ships are back," Rick said. "I have news about the galaxy." Jake and Lisa listened. Rick told them about the Galactic Council. 47 alien species worked together now. They had split up human space. Each species took pieces. They built new colonies where humans used to live. What about our machines? Jake asked. Our technology? Rick's face got dark. They are using everything. Faster than light travel, quantum computers, brain interfaces. They say they made it all. Lisa laughed, but it was not a happy sound. They stole our work and called it theirs. Amy Foster came running to the bridge. She was young but good at her job. She watched for enemy ships and read their signals. Commander, you need to hear this, Amy said. She put a speaker on the table. Alien voices came out. They were speaking in their own language. Lisa listened and then told them what it meant. They are talking about the peaceful expansion doctrine, Lisa said. They just took over another system, killed everyone there. A species called the Kelani. Had blue skin and 6 arms. Jake's hands made fists. Peaceful expansion. They are still doing it, Amy nodded. 12 species gone in the last 100 years. The aliens take their planets. Take their technology. Then they erase them from history. Just like they did to us? Jake walked to the center of the bridge. All his crew looked at him. These people trusted him. They had followed him for years. Their parents had followed his parents. For 3,000 years, humans had been waiting. How many ships do we have ready? Jake asked. Rick checked his datapad. All 50 ships, weapons charged. Engines good? Crews ready? And our special weapons? Lisa smiled for real this time. The computer viruses are ready. The mind tricks are ready. Everything we learned from studying their technology. Jake thought about the plan. They had worked on it for decades. Humans were good at learning. While they hid in space, they had studied alien technology. They had made it better. The aliens did not know this. They think we are dead, Jake said. Let us show them how wrong they are. Amy pulled up a star map. It showed the galaxy. Thousands of systems, millions of planets. The aliens controlled it all. But not for much longer. Where do we start? Rick asked. Jake pointed to a system near the edge of the map. There, the Zephyrian Empire. They were the first to attack Earth. They should be the first to pay. Lisa began working on her computer. I can hack their systems from here, make their ships crash, make their machines break. They will not know what hit them. Jake looked at his crew. These people had lost everything, their home planet, their families, their place in history, but they had not lost their spirit. The aliens think they erased us, Jake said. They think we are just a story that never happened. Time to remind them that humans are real, and we remember everything. Rick nodded. What do we tell the crew? Jake walked back to the window. The stars looked different now. They looked like targets. Tell them we are going home, Jake said. Tell them it is time to take back what was stolen. Tell them the galaxy is about to learn that you cannot kill an idea. And humanity was always more than just another species. The Iron Phoenix began to move. Behind it, 49 other ships followed. They had waited 3,000 years for this moment. The wait was over. In the dark of space, the human fleet headed toward the galaxy. They carried with them the hopes of the dead, the anger of the survivors, and the promise that the truth would finally come out. The aliens had made one big mistake. They had let some humans live. Now those humans were coming back, and they were bringing friends. The Galactic Council meeting was supposed to be secret. The biggest alien leaders from 47 worlds had come together. They wanted to talk about the strange things happening across the galaxy. Ships crashing, computers going crazy. History. Files appearing from nowhere. Then every screen in the room lit up at once. The aliens saw a picture of a blue and green world. It spun slowly around a yellow star. Words appeared under the picture. They said, Sol 3, Earth, home of the human species. Then a figure appeared on the screens. It was tall and wore strange armor. The armor was old but strong. A dark helmet covered the figure's face. When it spoke, the words came out in every alien language at the same time. I am Colonel Steve Harrison. I speak for the Terran Remnant Fleet. We are the species you tried to erase. The room exploded with noise. Aliens jumped up from their seats. Some ran for the doors. Others grabbed their communication devices. A few just stared at the screen with their mouths open. The Zephyrian delegate was named Kexmore. He had purple skin and 4 arms. All 4 arms were shaking as he typed on his computer. He was looking for any record of humans. But there was nothing, just empty files and broken links. "This is a lie," Kexmore shouted. "There is no such species. Check the records." But other aliens were checking too, and they were finding things. Old files that had been hidden, pictures that had been deleted, stories that had been marked as myths. Steve continued talking. His voice was calm but cold. 3,000 years ago, your people decided we were too dangerous to live. You attacked our worlds, you stole our technology, you killed our families. When you could not kill us all, you erased us from history. The screen changed. Now it showed video files. Real recordings from long ago. The aliens watched their own ancestors attacking human colonies. They saw human ships trying to escape. They saw space stations burning. The crystalline delegate was called Shardara. She looked like a walking diamond. Her people kept all the galaxy's history. She knew these files should not exist, but there they were, clear as daylight. "Impossible," Shardara whispered. "We destroyed all evidence. We checked everything." Monica Adams had spent 30 years preparing for this moment. She sat in a hidden ship far from the council chamber. Her job was to make sure every alien in the galaxy saw the truth at the same time. "Broadcasting to all systems," Monica said into her microphone. "Every TV station, every radio channel, every computer network. They cannot turn this off." Steve's image appeared on billions of screens across the galaxy, in alien homes, in alien schools, in alien government buildings. Everyone was watching. Everyone was learning about humans for the first time. "We know exactly what you did," Steve said. "We know which of your ancestors gave the orders. We know which of your companies profited from our stolen technology. We know which of your worlds were built on the ashes of human colonies." The evidence was overwhelming. Patent records showing alien companies claiming human inventions. Military reports describing battles against unknown hostiles. Trade agreements dividing up human territory. Danny Thompson was watching from his spy ship. He had been hiding in alien space for 10 years. His job was to record everything, every crime, every lie, every stolen piece of technology. "The proof is solid," Danny reported. "They cannot deny any of it. Too many records, too many witnesses." Back in the council chamber, some aliens were trying to argue. The biosynthetic delegate was called Unit 7743. It looked like a robot made of living metal. It spoke in a voice like grinding gears. "Even if this is true, it happened long ago. The current generation cannot be blamed for ancient history." Steve's helmet turned toward the camera. Even though they could not see his face, every alien could feel his anger. "Ancient history? You have been using our stolen technology for 3,000 years. Your current prosperity is built on genocide. Every faster-than-light ship you fly uses our engines. Every quantum computer you use runs on our programs. Every neural interface you have was designed by human scientists whose names you erased." The screen split into sections. Each section showed a different piece of technology: engines, computers, weapons, medical devices. All of them had human fingerprints. All of them had been stolen and claimed by aliens. "You did not just kill our people," Steve continued. "You stole our future. Everything you have achieved in the last 3,000 years should have been ours." Some aliens in the chamber started arguing with each other. Old grudges came back. Species that had competed for human territory were now accusing each other of taking more than their share. Helen Wright smiled as she watched the chaos. This was exactly what she had hoped for. They are turning on each other. Perfect. But not all aliens were angry. Some were scared. They realized that if humans had survived, if humans had been hiding and growing stronger, then humans might be very dangerous. Now, the aquatic delegate was called Wavesinger. She lived underwater and breathed through gills. Her people had always been peaceful. They had not taken part in the war against humans. "If your species survived," Wavesinger asked, "what do you want from us now?" Steve was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was even colder. "Justice. You will return what you stole. You will pay for what you destroyed. You will remember what you tried to forget. And if we refuse?" asked Kexmore. Steve's image smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Then we will take back what is ours by force. And trust me, we have had 3,000 years to prepare." The screen changed again. This time it showed the human fleet. 50 ships flying in perfect formation. The ships looked strange. They were built with alien technology but improved with human creativity. They were faster than anything the aliens had, stronger. "Deadlier, impossible," whispered Shardara. "Those ships, that technology, it is beyond anything we have." "You taught us well," Steve said. "Every piece of technology you stole from us, we have improved. Every weapon you used against us, we have made better. Every weakness you gave us, we have turned into strength." Rick Martinez was commanding one of the ships in the fleet. He was looking at the readings from the alien worlds. Their defenses were old, built to fight other aliens, not humans. "This will be easier than we thought," Rick told his crew. "Their shields cannot stop our weapons. Their computers cannot match our speed." Back in the council chamber, panic was spreading. Some delegates were calling their home worlds. Others were trying to contact their military commanders. A few were just sitting in shock. "How many of you are there?" asked Unit 7743. "Enough," Steve replied. "We have spent 3,000 years growing, learning, building. We are not the same species you tried to kill. We are stronger now, smarter, more determined." The truth was that there were only 12 million humans left. But they had built themselves into the most advanced military force in the galaxy. Every human was a soldier. Every ship was a weapon. Every plan had been tested and perfected. "What happens now?" asked Wavesinger. Steve's image began to fade. "Now you have a choice. Surrender and face justice, or fight and face destruction. You have 24 hours to decide." The screens went black. The chamber fell silent. For 3,000 years, the aliens had controlled the galaxy. They had made the rules. They had decided who lived and who died. Now the humans were back, and they were asking for the bill. The 24 hours passed quickly. Most alien governments tried to ignore the human demands. Some called it a hoax. Others said they would not pay for crimes they did not commit. A few tried to negotiate. The humans were done talking. Kevin Brown was an admiral in charge of the first attack wave. His ship was called Thunderstrike. It was painted black like the space around it. Kevin had been born on a ship. He had never seen a planet up close. Today that would change. "All ships." "Report ready," said his communications officer. Her name was Linda Park. She was young but had trained for this moment her whole life. Kevin looked at the star map. 12 systems were marked in red. Each one had been a human colony before the war. Each one now belonged to aliens who had stolen. The time had come to take them back. "Begin the operation," Kevin ordered. The human fleet split into 12 groups. Each group headed for a different system. They moved fast. Faster than the aliens thought possible. By the time alien sensors detected them, it was too late to run. The first target was the Vega system. It had been called New Boston when humans lived there. Now the Zephyrians called it Mining Hub 7. They had stripped the planets bare looking. For rare metals, Samantha Lee commanded the attack on Vega. Her ship was called Starhammer. She looked at the alien defenses through her telescope. Orbital weapons platforms, shield generators, patrol ships moving in simple patterns. "They have not improved their defenses in 1,000 years, Samantha said. "This will be like shooting fish in a barrel." Her weapons officer was named Tony Roberts. He had studied every alien ship design. He knew exactly where to hit them to make them break apart. "Weapons charged and ready," Tony reported. Should I target their ships or their stations first? Stations, Samantha decided. Cut off their supply lines. Make them come to us. The Starhammer opened fire. Its weapons were unlike anything the aliens had seen. They did not shoot energy, beams, or metal bullets. They shot smart projectiles that could think for themselves. The projectiles flew around alien shields. They found weak spots in armor. They exploded exactly where they would do the most damage. The first space station died in seconds. The aliens inside did not even have time to send a distress signal. The second station lasted longer, but not by much. Ryan Adams was the chief scientist. On the Starhammer, he watched the alien ships trying to respond to the attack. Their movements were slow and predictable. They are using the same tactics they used 3,000 years ago, Ryan said. They have learned nothing. But Ryan had learned everything. He had studied alien psychology for decades. He knew how each species thought, how they reacted under pressure, how they made decisions in battle. Zephyrians always protect their command ships first, Ryan explained to the crew. They will pull back their fighters to form a defensive screen. That leaves their support vessels exposed. It happened exactly as Ryan predicted. The alien fighters rushed back to protect their flagship. The cargo ships and fuel tankers were left alone. Easy targets for human weapons. Carolyn Martinez was leading a different attack at the Kepler system. This system was special. It contained the old human research station where faster-than-light travel had been invented. The aliens had been using it as their own research base for 3,000 years. Ironic, Carol said to her crew. They have been studying our technology at the place where we created it, and they never realized it. Carol's ship was called Mindblade. It was smaller than the other human ships, but much faster. Her job was to capture the research station intact. The humans wanted their old laboratories back. Alien patrol coming around the third planet, reported. Her navigator, his name was Chris Anderson. He had been Carol's friend since they were children. Let them come, Carol said. Tony, show them our new toys. Tony Roberts was Carol's weapons officer, too. The humans did not have enough people to fill every position with different experts. Many humans had multiple jobs. Tony activated a new weapon system. It sent out waves of energy that confused alien sensors. The alien patrol ships suddenly could not see where they were going. They flew into each other. Some crashed into asteroids, others just spun in circles. Clean and simple. Carol said, no unnecessary killing. The humans had rules about killing. They would destroy alien ships that fought back. But they tried to capture aliens who surrendered. This was not mercy. It was strategy. Dead aliens could not tell other aliens how powerful humans had become. The research station tried to activate its defenses, but the defenses had been built using human technology. Bobby Chun had already hacked into them from his ship far away. Station defenses offline, Bobby reported over the radio. You have a clear approach. Carol brought her ship close to the station. She could see alien scientists running through the corridors. Some were trying to destroy important files. Others were trying to send messages calling for help. Jam their communications, Carol ordered. Board the station. Secure the laboratories. Capture anyone who looks important. The boarding party was led by a soldier named Danny Thompson. Danny was not big, but he was very smart. He knew the layout of the station better than the aliens did. It had been built by humans after all. Danny and his team moved through the station. Like ghosts, they had studied the building plans for years. They knew every corridor, every room, every hiding place. Found the main laboratory, Danny reported. The aliens have been using our equipment to study our own technology. They still do not understand how it works. The alien scientists were shocked to see humans. Most aliens had never seen a human before. They thought humans were just a myth. A scary story told to children. Please do not hurt us, begged the lead alien scientist. His name was Vextal and he had purple skin. We were just following orders. Danny looked at the laboratory. It was full of human inventions. Machines that could fold space. Computers that could think faster than any brain. medical devices that could cure any disease. Following orders, Danny repeated. That is what they all say. Back in space, the battle was going well for the humans. Alien ships were surrendering or running away. The few that chose to fight were quickly destroyed. Kevin Brown was coordinating all 12 attacks from his command ship. Reports came in from every system, all good news. Vega system secured, reported Samantha Lee. Minimal resistance. Station captured intact. Kepler system secured, reported Carol Martinez. Research facility in our hands, alien scientists captured. One by one, the systems fell to human forces. The aliens had been caught completely off guard. Their ships were older. Their weapons were weaker. Their tactics were outdated. But the biggest shock was still to come. In the Proxima system, humans found something terrible. The aliens had not just stolen human colonies. They had been doing the same thing to other species. For 3,000 years, Greg Wilson was leading the investigation. His ship found hidden files in the alien computers. Records of dozens of extinct species. Pictures of destroyed worlds, lists of stolen technologies. My God, Greg whispered. They have been doing this over and over again. The files showed a pattern. The aliens would find a species that was getting too strong, too smart, too creative. Then they would declare that species a threat to galactic peace. They would attack, kill most of them, steal their technology. Erase them from history. Humans were not the first. They were just the latest in a long line of victims. How many? Asked Greg's science officer. Her name was Amy Foster. Greg counted. The files, 47 species completely destroyed. Hundreds more enslaved or scattered. All in the name of peace and security. The humans had thought they were fighting for revenge. Now they realized they were fighting for justice. Not just for themselves, for every species that had been erased. Send this to all ships, Greg ordered. Everyone needs to see this. When the other human commanders saw the files, their anger grew even stronger. They were not just taking back their own worlds. They were stopping a cycle of genocide that had gone on for millions of years. The aliens had made a terrible mistake. They had created the perfect enemy. A species with nothing left to lose. A species with 3,000 years of anger. A species with the technology and the will to end their reign of terror forever. The galaxy was about to change. And the humans were going to make sure it changed for the better. 6 months after the first human attack, the galaxy looked very different. The old Galactic Council was gone. Most of the alien governments had surrendered. The few that tried to keep fighting had been crushed quickly. Lavra Johnson stood at the window of the space station orbiting Earth. Earth was blue and green again. The humans had spent months cleaning the pollution left by alien mining operations. Now clouds moved across blue oceans. Green forests grew where there had been strip mines. Lavra was the new president. She had been elected by all the humans in the fleet. Her job was to speak for humanity in the new galaxy they were building. Behind her, alien delegates waited to meet with her. They came from 60 different species. Some had fought against humanity. Others had been victims like humans. All of them wanted to be part of the new order. "Are you ready, Madam President?" asked her assistant. His name was Kelly Thompson. He had been a teacher before the war. Now he helped run the new government. "As ready as anyone can be," Lavra said. She turned away from the window and walked to the meeting room. The alien delegates stood up when she entered. This was new for them. For thousands of years, humans had been forgotten. Now humans were the most powerful species in the galaxy. Lavra sat down at the head of the table. She looked at each delegate. Some looked scared. Others looked hopeful. A few looked angry but kept quiet. "Let us begin," Lavra said. Her voice was calm but firm. "We are here to build something new. A galaxy where no species has to fear extinction. Where no people have to watch their history being erased." The first delegate to speak was Wavesinger from the aquatic worlds. Her people had never fought against humans. They had always been peaceful. "What do you want from us?" Wavesinger asked. "How can we prove we want peace?" Lavra had prepared for this question. Peace is not something you prove with words. It is something you build with actions. We want 3 things from every species. She held up one finger. First, full disclosure. Tell us everything you know about the old crimes. Which species participated? Which ones benefited? Which ones stayed silent? She held up a second finger. Second, reparations. Return what was stolen, pay back what was taken. Help rebuild what was destroyed. She held up a third finger. Third, prevention. Help us build a system that will never allow genocide again. Help us protect small species from big ones. A Zephyrian delegate raised one of his 4 hands. His name was Kexmore. His people had been among the worst offenders. What if we cannot pay full reparations? Kexmore asked. What if the cost is too high? Laura's expression did not change. Then you will pay what you can. And you will keep paying until the debt is cleared. It may take generations, but it will be paid. Chris Anderson was sitting beside Lavra. He was now the general in charge of galactic security. His job was to make sure no species tried to start another genocide. Some species have already begun making payments, Chris said. They are returning stolen technologies. They are giving up illegally occupied worlds. They are opening their archives to reveal hidden crimes. The biosynthetic delegate was Unit 7743. It looked like a robot made of living metal. Its people had stolen many human inventions. Our analysis indicates full compliance will significantly reduce our technological capabilities. Unit 7743 said. Lavra leaned forward. Good. You never should have had those capabilities in the first place. They were built on stolen technology and forced labor. Kelly Thompson handed Lavra a datapad. It contained reports from human investigation teams spread across the galaxy. We have discovered something important, Lavra said. The pattern of genocide we suffered was not unique. In the last 3,000 years, 47 species have been completely destroyed. Hundreds more have been enslaved or scattered. The alien delegates looked uncomfortable. Some had known about these crimes. Others had pretended not to see them. A few had actively participated. We found the survivors, Lavra continued. Hidden on remote worlds, living in exile like we did. Reduced to tiny populations, forgotten by history. A new delegate entered the room. She had blue skin and 6 arms. Her name was Kelani. Her people had been thought extinct for 200 years. The humans found us on a dead world at the edge of the galaxy, Kelani said. 12,000 of my people. All that was left of a species that once numbered in the billions. More delegates entered. Representatives of species that had been declared extinct. The tentacle builders, the crystal singers, the night flyers, all of them alive. All of them angry. This is what we are fighting against, Lavra said. Not just revenge for humanity, justice for everyone who has been erased. Tony Roberts was monitoring the meeting from the security center. His job was to watch for threats. But he was also watching the alien reactions. Most of them looked shocked. A few looked guilty. The old system is dead, Tony reported to his team. Look at their faces. They know they cannot go back to the way things were. Lavra stood up from her chair. All the aliens looked at her. We are not here to become the new tyrants, Lavra said. We are here to make sure there are never any tyrants again. The new Galactic Alliance will have rules, strong rules, and those rules will be enforced. She activated a holographic display. It showed the new alliance structure. Unlike the old council, this one was based on protection rather than power. Every species gets a voice, Lavra explained. Small species get extra protection. New species get help developing safely. Old species get held accountable for past crimes. The crystalline delegate was Shardara. Her people had kept false histories for thousands of years. Who will enforce these rules? Shardara asked. Who will have the power to punish violations? Lavara smiled. It was not a cruel smile, but it was not entirely kind either. We will. Humanity will be the guardians of galactic peace. We have the strongest military, the most advanced technology. and the best reason to prevent genocide. Chris Anderson activated another display. It showed the human fleet. 50 ships had become 200. Earth shipyards were working around the clock building more. Every human ship is a guardian vessel, Chris explained. We patrol trade routes, we monitor communications, we investigate reports of abuse, and we respond to threats immediately. Some alien delegates looked nervous about human military power, but the survivors of extinct species looked relieved. Finally, someone strong enough to protect the weak. What about species that refuse to join? Asked Kexmore. Laura's expression became hard. Then they will be isolated. Cut off from galactic trade, blocked from expansion, left alone until they change their minds or die out naturally. Unit 7743 processed this information. Isolation would result in technological stagnation and eventual societal collapse. Yes, Lavra said simply. Choose wisely. The meeting continued for hours. Details were worked out, treaties were signed. Reparation schedules were established. The new galactic order was taking shape, but the most important moment came at the end. Lavra stood before all the delegates one final time. 3,000 years ago, you tried to erase humanity from history, Lavra said. You failed. Not only did we survive, we became stronger. Strong enough to save other species from the same fate. She looked around the room. At species that had been oppressors? At species that had been victims? At species that had been both. History will remember this day, Lavra continued, not as the day humanity got revenge, but as the day the galaxy learned to be better. Outside the space station, ships from dozens of species flew in formation. Human ships, alien ships, ships from species that had been thought dead. All of them working together, the galaxy was healing, slowly, carefully, but surely in the depths of space. Human patrol ships continued their watch. They carried a simple message to any species that might be thinking of starting another. Genocide. Never again. The humans had returned from the void. They had taken back their place in the galaxy. But more importantly, they had used their power to build something better than what came before. The age of erasure was over. The age of protection had begun, and at the center of it all, Earth spun peacefully around its yellow sun, blue and green and alive. A reminder that some things are too important to be forgotten. Humanity had come home, and they had brought justice with them.